everybody, it's Mr. Dipper. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am presenting you with a driver's training series for VibeRide. On April 1st, VibeRides will be launched live to the public for picking up passengers. And because of that, we have created this driver training series. Now, this series will cover everything that you could possibly need to know, from driver safety, passenger safety, compensation, etc. So make sure you watch all the videos in the entire series and educate yourself on the whole process. Download the app, of course, get yourself registered, and we will see you on the road.
And thanks so much for joining us today. You are listening to and watching our VibeRides Driver Training session. And today we're going through a topic on rider safety. It'll be a little bit of a shorter meeting for us today, but appreciate everybody tuning in. So I'm just kind of curious, and maybe Mark, you can watch for me on the Facebook Live side. But if you're on the chat, I'm going to turn my chat on here so I can watch. I'm just kind of curious. This is our sixth training session, 6 of 8. We started last Friday. We've done them every day this week at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm just kind of curious how many people have been on here, and for you that tuning in today, just kind of curious how many of the training sessions have you had the opportunity to watch? That if you've actually watched them, just kind of curious. If you've been one, is this your first one? Is it 3 or 4? But if you just kind of let us know today, I'm just curious. And as always, I'll tell people out there, we record all of these training sessions. You can find them out on Facebook Live, on Facebook, on our VibeRides page, and you can also find them on Zoom. So even if you can't be on the meeting live, I'd encourage you, or if you've got other people you know or other friends that are participating in VibeRides, have them go out and look at that information. Have them go out and take a look at it. And just make sure that you're up to speed. We cover a tremendous amount of information on a daily basis. It's a lot of detail. I know for people out there, there's a lot of detailed information, but yeah, just let me know. Okay, so we've got one group chat here. I've got Christine 63. She said she's been on every Vibe driver training session but one. That's very good. Anna Marie, she's watched 5. Woo, there we go. She's watched 5. And that's actually very encouraging for us to know, that it's interesting that we're meeting your needs out there. So I appreciate the chats.
Mr.
Very
Bachman,
much appreciate it.
Over on
Yes.
Facebook Live, we've got Desmond, who's watched 3. We've got Kimberly, who's watched all of them except the first one. Tanya Lawrence has watched 4. Norma's watched 5. Carla, it's her 3rd session. And Nancy and Kevin said all of them. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. And I've got somebody here, Moto Z3, been on since last Friday. That would be all of them too. So that's great. I mean, that's really good. I appreciate everybody tuning in every day, and we're getting some good response. And like I said, I know we're going through a lot of detail, but there's a lot to this rideshare business. So with that, let's get headed into today's presentation. If you want to pull it up for me, Mark. Okay, driver training series. And the next slide, please. And again, safety, #1 priority, #1 priority for our riders, and #1 priority for our drivers. Next slide, please, Mark. Oh, Spanish Zoom line. Big shout out to all of our people that are listening in on the Spanish Zoom line. From last Friday to this week, the number of people on the Spanish Zoom line has increased really very high. So thank you for everybody who's listening in on Spanish today. If I knew some Spanish, besides reading off the numbers here a couple times this week, that's the extent of it. So again, if you're looking to come in on the Spanish Zoom line, it's 443-186-957 for everybody who's on the Spanish line. Next slide, please, Mark. Disclaimer. This is just a general disclaimer that we go over when we're doing our presentations. And the reason that we do that is during the presentation, sometimes we show some financial numbers, we show some theoretical or hypothetical projections out there. So this is just a little bit of a disclaimer out there, just to let us know, let you know that we're not making any guarantees on any of the projections. They're all theoretical, hypothetical. Next one, please, Mark. Okay, so let's talk about rider safety features. And here's what I want to do is for the drivers out there. I think it's important for the drivers. We went over your safety features yesterday, but I think it's also important for you to know is from the rider side, what they have as safety features. So you're aware of when the rider's getting into the car, what they've been looking at, what they've seen. So first of all, and this is a both way thing for the drivers and the riders, you're only going to see a first name. So if you're a driver, you will only see the first name of the rider you're picking up. And correspondingly for the riders, they're going to only see the first name of the driver. And again, that's just a safety feature. That's a privacy feature. Everybody understands those. We get to the second bullet here. We get the type and the color of the vehicle. And this is, again, from a rider standpoint, they need to know that Honda Sonata's picking them up, and it's a 2013 model, and this is what it looks like, and this is the color of the vehicle. It's very helpful to spot it. And also what I have found from my own personal experience using this, it's using rideshare, is really helpful to know what type of vehicle is coming. If you've ever gotten picked up at an airport from a rideshare standpoint and you're standing in a group of people, it really helps to know what type of vehicle is coming along with the color of that vehicle. Okay, next item here. Oh, I think we might have a little typo mark, but that's okay. License number. So we also have the license plate number that also shows up for the rider. So they're going to actually see from a license plate standpoint what they have. So they're going to know, again, when you pull up, they're going to actually be able to see that's the license plate. So for the rider, the safety features is the rider's going to see your name. They're going to see the type of vehicle you have. They're going to see the color of your vehicle, and they're going to see the license plate, which is going to help them when they get into the vehicle with you. Now, once they're in the vehicle, when the ride is underway, there's two other features that the riders have. One is route tracking. So a route tracking standpoint gives a rider the ability to go in there and let somebody else know the route that they're taking and tracking. So if somebody in the car, if they feel uncomfortable and they want to let a friend of theirs know or family, hey, I'm doing a ride share. Here's the route I'm taking. So from that standpoint, if they would be able to put that in there so everybody else can actually see, if a friend or family member, what route they're taking and when they should expect to be there. So it's a nice safety feature for the riders to make them feel a little bit more comfortable. If they're unfamiliar with doing ride shares, they feel a little bit uncomfortable doing it. That gives them the ability to let somebody else know, I'm on my way, here's the path I'm taking, you know what type you expect me to show up, and here's the route I'm on. If you remember the other day when we talked about route tracking, we're also giving those riders the ability to pick what GPS system they want to use, whether it's Waze, whether it's Maps. They have that ability, but that route tracking there is it's a safety feature. It's a feel-good feature for the rider. But again, this is just so you, as the drivers, know what the riders have. And then we also have the 911 feature. If you were on the call yesterday, on the call with Angela yesterday, she went over a lot of the driver safety features, and one of those was a 911 feature. That same feature is also going to be on the rider side. So there will be a 911 feature for the rider in case there's emergency. That's only for emergencies only. These are all, as you'll see, some pretty, what I would consider, expected safety features for the riders in the rideshare industry. So we're very proud of an additional feature that we have at VibeRides. We've come up with an additional feature we think is pretty cutting edge. There's nobody else out there doing it that we know of. And if you want to go to the next slide, please, Mark. That feature is called Girl Power. And this is really, I'm going to be talking to the ladies right now. So guys, you can sit back in your chairs a little bit. I'm going to address the ladies on both the rider side and the driver side. This is a concept that was conceived by our founder, Mr. Holton Buggs. And this was really geared towards just the ladies out there. And let me explain a little bit how this is going to work. there could be some lady that's uncomfortable with rideshare, that hasn't done it that many times, doesn't feel comfortable, doesn't want to get in a car with a strange guy that she doesn't know, doesn't like to do that. So we built in a feature that you as a rider, if you're a lady, you as a rider can request only a female driver. So if you're a female, if you want just a female driver, you'll have the ability on your app to only request a female driver. Maybe it's later at night, maybe you're in an area you're not familiar with, and you just feel more comfortable having another woman drive you. You can actually make that selection on your app. Now, for the riders, of course, it's going to be that there's the availability of the women drivers. So same thing for the drivers. So for you, the drivers out there, and again, for you ladies out there who are driving, my guess is, I'm just going to guess that some of you don't like driving later in the evening and may not like driving in certain areas of the city or the town that you're in. You also have the option as a driver to turn on girl power. And when you turn on girl power, the only riders that are going to come up to you available for you are other ladies, other women at the same time. So from that standpoint, you're going to have the ability to go out there and say, maybe it's later at night, like I said, you don't feel very comfortable picking up somebody in local establishments. Maybe you don't want to pick up somebody from a bar or a nightclub, and you would just prefer to be able to take another woman home and have that as a rider. So what we're doing here is matching up female to female, lady to lady, girl to girl, woman to woman. So both the rider and the driver have that additional safety feature. We think that's a very interesting feature. What we're hoping out of this is this will also give more incentive to female drivers. In this industry, it's kind of funny. About a couple of weeks ago, I was in Houston. And every place I go, I always take rideshare because it gives me the opportunity to talk to everybody. And it just happened that week that most of my drivers were women. Picked me up in the morning, dropped me back off at night, drove me to the airport. And so it gave me the opportunity to talk to all the female drivers and run this concept by them. There's not a single one that I spoke to that didn't say that they would love to see this feature. It would make them feel more comfortable in what was going on. So we think this is really something that's needed in the industry. We think it's a pretty cool feature. And I think for all of the ladies out there, and actually for us guys too, that actually have wives or moms or sisters that are actually on rideshare, there's probably times we'd feel a little bit more comfortable too if we knew there was another female picking them up based on where they were coming or going from. So it's just another safety feature that we have out there. It's just, I'll put it as it's a good feeling for people that need it. And like I said, I hope for our female drivers, we give them a little more incentive to do it, become a driver, because we need, in order for this to work, we need a lot of female drivers at the same time, not just riders. We need female drivers to make girl power very successful. So for us, this is a big feature. This is a cool feature, and we hope that you like it, and we hope you really enjoy it and see the benefit from it. Okay, Mark, next slide. Okay, so I said this is going to be a pretty short topic today as it relates to the rider safety piece. So we're going to go pretty quick today. Our next topic on Monday is very, very critical to every driver. This is what we call the on-the-road training. So if you were with us last Friday when we started doing these training sessions, Angela walked you through our driver app as it pertained to signing up and getting enrolled. On Monday, Angela's going to come back and she's going to walk you through our driver app all the way from the time you get pinged all the way till the ride is over. So this is going to be really important for everybody that's driving out there. She's going to go through the entire process screen by screen. So you're going to see what happens when you're on the road. That is Monday next week. And again, I mentioned it on Tuesday next week, we're going to do part 2 of our overdrive training. We started the overdrive training, I think it was yesterday. So the week's kind of gotten beyond me. But we're gonna follow up with some of those questions and go on and answer some of those that people have asked us for. And then on Wednesday, we're still going live and we're going to be doing some live drives and rides so everybody can see. So I appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate everybody tuning in. This has been fun. We've enjoyed it this week, and then I'm hoping everybody has a great weekend. And as always, additional questions, go to VibeRides.com, click support. If you go to VibeRides.com, there's a support tab at the very top. And again, I'll say Mr. Frederick Brim has done an outstanding job with his team, providing a bunch of information there for you. Or you can always use VibeRidesSupport.com if you've got a question. So a lot of information. Like I said, go back and look at the other trainings if you haven't had them. Again, our disclaimer that we had to start today's presentation. Like I said, be there on Monday, on the road training, a lot of information for you. Thanks all for tuning in, everybody. I'll just say drive smart, be safe, and we'll talk to you on Monday.